All right, guys, this is Travis Jones podcast. I'm here with Paul Mort. Paul has had everything. He's done the 19 boot camp locations, coached hundreds of businesses. He had a supplement company where he snorted greens and then he sold it. And then he also
snorted whites.
And then also he has two amazing kids.
Crazy. I do. Yeah, dude, I love the fact you said that about the snort of the greens, because actually, at the same time, I was snorting a lot of whites, which I'm sure we'll get onto at some point.
I'm sure, man, that you probably did try and snort some lean greens at some stage. But anyway, we also have, he also has an amazing wife that's put up with a lot of bullshit over the years, as has mine. And she's the rock that keeps him sane. And that is Paul Mort. Now he focuses on making men and some women completely unstoppable. What's up, brother?
Dude, I'm super excited. Super excited. Oh, good. We're in the home office today. Do you know why I'm working here today? Because Leslie, my wife, this is like two back rooms that never got used. Like literally, it was like a playroom for the kids. Playrooms for the kids is just basically a mess, right?
Yeah.
So Leslie hired this interior designer, and after he did all the work, I was like, "Oh, this is lovely. How much did it cost?" Then she told me, and now I'm sitting in here every day.
I'm using it. I'm using
this shit. I don't like working from home, but if you spend that much money on interior design, I am fucking staying here.
I love it. Yeah. So, man, I guess, we've had a bit of a background. Paul actually came to my wedding. We did catch up. Did get drunk once in Marbella. We left her in the nightclub, and me and Paul went to the strippers, and we came back and Liv woke up. That was us.
Holy shit. Do you know what, dude? Just that wedding, after your wedding, that was, and I think Krebs was the same, actually. We were both so fucked up.
Yeah.
Steve Krebs was anxious as fuck, like Hellboy, and I was fucking I was all over the place back then. So yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because
I know, man. I literally of that time.
You must have got married 2014, eh?
Yeah. So that time period was the whole change for you. It started to shift.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I owned that. I'm not going to say it was because of me and that was a climactic moment standing on the cliff in Italy. But you do have another cliff. We'll talk about that later. So now I want to talk about something, which is mindset. And I think that's the first thing I want to talk about. I think, I coach fitness businesses, and, we have the gyms and all the rest of it. You make people fucking unstoppable at life. Now, the biggest thing that holds people back is mindset, right? And I know that it's cliche at the moment to say whatever, self-worth or mindset. There's mindset gurus everywhere. But let's throw that shit out the corner. And what's your thought?
Dude, I love this topic, because I think that, as you say, there are a bunch of, it's kind of all over the place. There seem to be more opinions on mindset than there is about fucking nutrition.
It's hard, man, because there's two different camps, right? There's the fucking snowflakes over here.
Yes. Right? And then you've got the sufferers. You have to suffer. Oh. You've got suffer, or you've got hippie.
Yeah.
You've got sufferers, you've got Goggins, or you've got the hippies, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's literally everyone's fuck this. I'm going to fucking endure shit. I'm going to strap my ankles together. I'm going to run because we are born to suffer. And then everyone else is no, it's okay.
The universe will take care of us. The universe will take care of it, yeah. Do you know where I am? Smack bang in the middle. Okay. I'm smack bang in the middle. And you know where else I am? I will use whichever one of them serves me at this fucking time. Whichever one helps me get the result, and whichever one actually makes me feel fucking good at the time.
Yeah.
Here's where I am. Here's my understanding of mindset. And this is the most simple way I can put it when I teach it, when I put it in my book, is mindset is a set, obviously, this is all it is, beliefs and assumptions that we own that are so powerful that our behavior conforms to them. That's it. Yeah. Beliefs and assumptions, that's all mindset is. And the great news about both of those is they don't have to stay set, and we can choose whichever ones we want. Most of our beliefs, the beliefs are the shit and the stories we tell ourselves, that's the shit that makes it hurt. Other than that, once you start examining them and seeing that it's fucking bullshit, and it's not, for me, it's not that difficult, I don't think. It gets overcomplicated.
Matt, so much. I think Marcus Aurelius had this quote, and I'm going to bastardize it right now. Like, everything is opinions.
You can't do anything. You're all right. You can't do anything about it now.
No, it's okay. It's like everything in life is opinions and not facts, and everything else is also perspectives and not truths. So, like, so many of us, like, we believe our opinion or our perspective is the way, but that's just your opinion. You know, a way. And there's so many different ways to get there, and there's so many different perspectives, right? Like the whole thing. Have you ever done it where you're like looking at it's like, which way is this turning? And then you bring it down underneath your eyes, and it changes the way the whole circle's going. And it's like because you're just looking at things in a different perspective. And I think people have so much ego that they refuse to have the humility that they could be wrong or that there's another way.
100%. And that was me. That was what caused a lot of my problems. I was so set in my ways that my way was the right way that I just ended up arguing permanently with myself. With other people.
You're so angry.
I was so angry.
So fucking angry.
Dude, and do you know what? I could never do what I do now if I was still that guy. So I'm kind of thankful for it because I wouldn't be where I am, but that guy wouldn't be able to handle the amount of shit that I get now. I was saying to Leslie yesterday, I put out a job advert, right? I had 131 applications in 2 days, and I got loads of shit because obviously I wrote it in my style. Like no dickheads, no douchebags. You must be able to spam loads of groups with amazing MLM opportunities. You must be able to post photos next to my rented Ferrari with your shirt off and shit, right? Yeah. And I got people saying, that's so unprofessional. I'm like, well, wait until, if you think that's unprofessional, they come to the office and I'm walking around with fucking nothing on. But the amount of shit I get right now is directly correlated to the fucking success that I'm having. You know what I mean? And that old guy would have burnt his shit to the ground a year ago. Easy. Yeah, because you're right about that ego thing. And I think that's all it is when your ego gets attacked, that's when you start fucking struggling. That's when you start arguing and fighting, and even with yourself.
Yeah, man, but that's what I was going to say. It's like mindset, like when we're looking at this, it's like internal dialogue, I think. So I think for me, I know you've had some time off and on social media. And for me, like I think I went like a couple of years ago, I was getting attacked with the content I was putting out. And I got to this point where I'm like, maybe I'm not good at what I do. And I was like, fuck you all.
Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Yeah, maybe they are right. Maybe they're right.
Yeah. And because it gets to a point, because I wasn't mentally strong enough to go, no, like fuck you. Like I'm here for a purpose and I'm here to serve.
Travis, do you think it's mentally strong enough? Because I was thinking about this just a few weeks ago when I got tempted with the booze, right? And I'm like, do we need to be mentally strong enough, right, to be successful? Or do we need to be mentally flexible? Maybe we need to be mentally flexible. Do you know what I mean?
I think like for this, man, like I look at it when I look at business owners, like John Maxwell has these levels of leadership and people get stuck in level 2 because they can't move past this people development level because they refuse to have crucial conversations. And they don't have crucial conversations because they fear rejection, because they want to be liked. And for me, I think I've got to start putting out content because I'm like, I want everyone to like me. And then these people don't like me over here. So if I don't put out content, then for me, I'm going to be in my safe comfort zone because people can't like me or not like me if they don't know me. So then I'm like, fuck it. I think like...
Sorry, mate. And how mad is it when you put out some content and you get fucking hundreds of positive comments and then you get one person giving you shit and that's all you can focus on, right? Fuck you.
Yeah, like,
never mind these 100 people that have given me positive feedback. I'm ignoring you. I'm just focusing on this cunt.
And then you have to look at it. It's like, okay, so I'll focus on the negative, and then I shift my state, and I shift my state to this negative state, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm low as fuck, and then I start telling myself stories, like Tony Robbins would say, state then story, right? I tell myself stories like, maybe you are shit, right? And this is when I wasn't as like, if it is mentally flexible, I wasn't as flexible to like either let go of it, not worry about it. And then I was like, because I started telling myself negative stories, then I stopped actually doing any strategy. Where strategy as far as like putting content out there, actually serving people. And I let my state impact these stories. So instead right now for me, I'm like, Well, I actually, to be honest, man, like when I was doing it, as I needed to change something, I did Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins, like back in the day, probably like 5 years ago, right? And it was just after, it was in October, after my wedding. So like,
oh really?
Just after you, and that's when I was going.
I had my Date with Destiny at the same time, man. I had my Date with Destiny.
Yeah, like literally for me, I was going through shit. And I was like, I had this rejection shit coming up, and I was playing a couple of loops inside my life. And I created this mantra after this, where it's like, I will serve on a daily basis with giving zero fucks to what everyone would think, because my content is valuable and I'm here to serve the world. And I used to just say that and say that and say that, because like for me, like the two people or the one person who had their own problem, which they projected onto me, I was getting hold of that, and it was stopping me serving so many other people. And
I think about it, right? We're talking about state and stories, right?
Yeah.
These people that give us shit, they're doing it for one reason, to change their state because of their stories, right? Isn't that crazy? And I'm like, listen, if we give attention to them, we give them what we want, what they want. If we give them significance, our content, then they also get what they want.
Like
only people that don't.
I know, because like everyone's searching for this, like the significance, right? It is like they're like, screw you, man. So then you're like, no, screw you, and they're like, yeah, I got him, and they're getting like this significance and connection off of it. So they're like, I'm gonna keep doing this because what I'm doing is giving me what I want, because I'm a little dude sitting like jerking off behind my computer, and like I just want some attention. You give them that attention, and it's like they just won, and they just drop you down a level. So it's like, whatever. It's like, you know, you argue with an idiot, they beat you with what is
experience.
It? Experience. So like normally I'm like, whenever I get it now, like I just can't be bothered anymore. I'm like, okay, there's some hate. I just like literally delete, block. Delete.
It's like playing a game that you cannot win. Like what you can't win it. It's like why would you? It's like going in the 100 meters in the fucking Olympic final. You're like, I can't win this thing. I'm going to pull a hamstring in the first one. In fact, I can't even get down on the blocks. I'm so fucking stiff, I can't even get on the blocks. So the funny old thing, Byron Katie's scene is the best thing I've ever heard. Her work changed my life the most, because when I say beliefs and assumptions, all of her work is on beliefs and assumptions.
Yeah.
And she has a thing, and I use this with my guys all the time. Would you rather be right or would you rather be free?
Yeah.
Nothing to gain by being right. I'm willing to be wrong. And I think that's one of the biggest changes that I made. I'm willing to be wrong now. Otherwise, how can I learn if I'm not willing to be wrong?
Yeah, true.
If I'm obsessed with being right, I can't get any better.
I think that comes down to that whole ego and humility thing again, man. Like, I think, you know, we have these feedback loops coming through. And I think when you hold too much ego, you refuse the feedback loop from actually following through. So if you don't get feedback, then you can never actually get better. And you have to have enough humility to go, okay, how am I acting and adding to this situation? It's like that whole extreme ownership, but not that extreme, where it's like I'm owning everything in my life right now. How can I have some form of feedback coming through? And where do I need to up-level myself, my character traits, my personal beliefs, my energy, like what's actually stopping me? I think, you know, so many of us, you know, Viktor Frankl talks about stimulus and response. And I think that's what helped me a lot. It's like there's a stimulus, like, hey, you're a dickhead, and response, fuck you, man. I never had a gap between stimulus and response. So it's like now, if I actually extend that gap, it's like just breathe a couple of times. If something does work me up, and it's like breathe 1, breathe 2, breathe 3, and it's like, okay, respond with the right emotions that I'm choosing, not the emotions that bang smack up against that stimulus.
Yeah. I'm like, when people call us a dickhead, I'm like, dude, I'm glad you noticed.
I've been working on this for a while.
Yeah, dickhead, I'm like, dude, my wife would agree with you. Like, I like having fun like that, because there's no, often, listen, 9 times out of 10, I'll delete and block them. I very rarely react with like anger. I very rarely react with anger anymore, because and here's the thing. For me, energy is the most important asset that we need to protect. That's it. Then I would put confidence second. But see, the thing is, we'll always react badly when our energy is the lowest, right?
100%.
But when my energy's high, someone criticize me, I'm like, eh. But when my energy's low, it's like I'll almost go looking for trouble when I'm tired.
Yes.
Everybody's like, why are you on your phone? You're tired. I'm like, she's like, you're looking for a fucking fight, you.
You're looking for a win.
And it happens. It's funny when I box, right? When I box, and I see this in boxing all the time, because I've done a lot of boxing over the last few years, like thousands of rounds of sparring. And I help guys that are having their first fight now, so I corner them. And I'm always like, why, when you're most tired, why are you going to look for the... Have you noticed this in boxing matches? What you'll see towards the end of a round, that's when they'll have the biggest tear up. I'm like, you don't have to go looking for trouble when you're tired, bro.
No.
If you're winning the round, fucking stay away from them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's so interesting, man. It's so interesting, like this guy, because some of my photos we market with RBT, and like I had a photo of me with my shirt off or something like that, and this guy's like, this guy's body's out of proportion. Why would you even sign up to this? And I was like, comment back, yeah, I know, man, my feet are too small. I'm so sorry. He's like, fuck you, man. I was like, sorry, dude, I don't do that. Like I go for
not today.
He's like, no, fuck you. I was like, I don't. Like, it's not going to happen. You're not going to fuck me. But, like, I think when you respond with humor, like it just shuts it down.
They don't know how to deal with it.
No, they're like, no, I was trying to aggravate you.
I got someone calling me a cunt yesterday. I was like, no, thank you, mate. I'll leave that to you. Yeah, I get that. Honestly, I have so much fun with them. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's what I see like now. I'm like, I have fun with it. Oh, and the other thing is that, listen, I'm like, how can I use this? How can any negative situation, like, how can I use this now?
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things about putting out content. I can put content about someone calling me a cunt.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that subject line in an email, cunt. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everyone's opening that bitch.
Yeah. What am I getting? Self-sabotage, man. Like, what do you think about it?
Oh, dude. No shit. I did a training on this on Monday for my guys.
Cool.
I'm not sure it exists.
Yeah.
Because everything that we do it because we get something from it.
Yeah.
I'm saying to the guys, I'm like, listen, we talk about self-sabotage, and I've been a guy that's done it. And I'm like, well, there's a reason you did it. And the only reason you did it is because in that moment, you got something from it, even if it was sympathy, right? Do you know what I mean? Even if it was validation for not doing something, even if it was fitting. So people are like, oh, I drink on a weekend and I keep self-sabotaging on a weekend. I'm like, you're not self-sabotaging. You're doing it because you get something. And it's because either the booze changes your state, which it does, that's the only reason you do it, or you do because you want to fit in with the people that you're with. You didn't self-sabotage. You got something from it. So then I just had the guys that said, listen, let's weigh out what you're getting from it versus what it's costing you. That's essentially it. I said, what's it cost you now? How's it impacting you now? What's it cost you in the past? And what's it going to cost you in the future? That's a simple leverage thing. Do you know what I mean? It's a real, let's know what you get from it at the moment versus that. That's it. So yeah, where are you at with that?
Man, honestly, I'm exactly the same because I look at more of like the habit loop kind of stuff. So it's like there is literally like a queue and you're searching for a reward, right? So there's a queue, there's a routine, there's a reward. So it's like whether it be like the queue, long week, the routine, get smashed, the reward, fitting in, get significance, get connection, actually feel like I'm a part of something. It's like, okay, cool. Like what are you searching for and how can we replace that routine with something that serves you better because this isn't serving you right now. So there is no such thing as self-sabotage. I don't believe either. You're just trying to find a reward that you are craving in life. So you just have to go, what is the cue? I can either rip off the cue and not do the cue anymore. So your boss is a dickhead or the employees are fuckwit or the members are a vampire. Just get rid of it. And you won't even have the routine and the reward. Or find yourself like, okay, what's the end game I'm looking for? And what's the routine in the middle? And how can I give myself a different routine that still gets me that end reward? So it's
we use that a lot, the habit thing, because I think one of the mistakes that people make when they're trying to get rid of a shit habit or a habit that's not long-term getting them what they want is that they just try and stop it.
Yeah.
I'm stop doing this. I'm like, well, it's like going to a titty bar, which me and your experience of titty bar. It's like going to a titty bar and saying, I'm not going to look at the tits.
No. It's like,
you know what I mean? You have to replace it with something else.
It doesn't happen. I can honestly, man, like people are like, oh, I'm craving food. And I was like, to be honest, you're probably not craving food. You're craving the feeling that food's giving you. So why don't you just go fuck your wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's going to make you feel good too. Like you should just.
The problem is if they're fat, they're probably not getting laid.
This is true. But like, that's all you got to look at. It's like, okay, what else makes me feel good? Like, just go have sex with your partner. And at the end of that, hopefully you feel good. If you don't, then you need to go for another workshop on how to make that work.
Isn't it interesting? I say this to my guys as well, that we have a lot of ways to make ourselves feel like shit.
Yeah.
We don't have that many ways to make ourselves feel good. And we have have you read Solve for Happy?
No.
Or Solve for Happy is a really cool book by a guy that was head business analyst at Google or something, right? Yeah. And I actually stopped reading the book after he gave you this exercise. He gave me this exercise that was fill in the blanks and make this list. It was, I am happy when. I feel happy, because that's all it is really. I feel happy when. I just have my guys create a buffet, right? Buffet of I feel happy whens, right? I'm like, when you feel like shit, just choose one of them.
Yeah.
It could be something simple. One of my most simple ones is go in the car, put some music on, and sing in the car. Full blast. That's it. Yeah. And how simple is that, right? Because, and the other thing is that my very favorite thing to do, this will be up there for you, is traveling with my kids and going on holiday, right? Going on vacation, as you guys say. And I said, and I actually did this last week because we were in Tenerife, and I came back and I'm like, how can I create, what do I love about being on holiday? And I'm like, napping, reading fiction, playing with the kids, eating what I want, which we can't always do that. Eating ice cream 6 times a day, sun, vitamin D, going out for walks, etc. I'm like, if I think about this, all these things these are my happiest experiences. I can create little pieces of that like every day.
Yeah, man.
It's just a strategy. If that's about, because the problem is for a lot of people, I think, is that for most people, they love going on holiday too.
But they never do.
Everyone loves, but no, I think people do. I think a lot of people where I live, especially here, they go on holiday, but it's like they'll go on holiday once a year. So 51 weeks of the year are fucking misery. And they're just waiting for this. They're waiting for this holiday. That's it, right? And I'm like, well, that's great, but you can have that feeling that you get on holiday almost anytime you want, right? It's like the only purpose, and I talk about purpose quite a lot because I think you probably be with me on this, is that it gets banded around a lot. People are they're looking so hard for it that they miss it, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're looking so hard for it, they miss it, right? So I'm like, even if your purpose, most people's purpose is just to get to the weekend, I think.
Honestly, man, I think it's to get to the weekend and
get on the week on holiday.
I'm just going to finish my day. My purpose is to get home and just fucking sit on the couch and not talk to Jan in accounting. But like, to be honest, man, I think that's it, right? And I think, but then when we look at the other side of things, I think people are like, oh, I'm not successful because I haven't found my purpose. I don't have my why. I was like, that's just fucking bullshit.
Yeah. I think it just gets overcomplicated. For me, I think people's only purpose is really, for me, is to be happy, right? That's it.
Yeah. So what makes you happy?
Do more shit. That's what I say to people. Like, I'm so unhappy. I'm like, well, what makes you happy? I don't know. Well, how the fuck will you know when you're happy then?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know? Or compared to what? I'm like, it's so difficult. And I think that one of the most simple ways to find your purpose is just have some fucking goals that you're working towards.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden they set goals that are fucking stupid, right? They set stupid goals. So it's like, okay, cool. We know that, like, they've done the studies, and I think you should make a bit more money than this, but your happiness doesn't increase after about $80,000, £40,000 a year. That was US, right? But if you want to do cool shit and have more experiences, make some more fucking money. Okay, that's me. Yeah. But in saying that, you can make $150K a year or, £100,000 a year and have a happy life, or you can make £300,000 take home a year and be kind of miserable. Which one do you choose? Well, you choose 100,000 because why the fuck would you sacrifice your happiness?
Yeah. I've done that, dude. Don't worry about that. I've done it. Because I think the thing is, for me, I say this all the time. Well, how did you end up like that? I'm like, well, I thought that's what would make me happy.
More money.
Just guessing. Yeah, I was guessing more money. Guessing. I didn't know what to do with it. I put most of it up my nose.
You're like, this will numb the pain.
Well, this will make me feel great. Yeah, this £20 note smells. This £20 note smells nice. Yeah, well, I totally agree with you. And I think that when I get guys hitting me up and they're like, I'm just so miserable, and one of the first things I say to them is, what are you working towards right now? And they're always like, nothing. I'm like, well, you have no purpose then. Your purpose is to get to the weekend and survive the next. And the same thing. And I think that, and I read this book, I can't remember what it's called, but it got in my head, and I talk about it a lot, which is men, and I don't know much about women, right? Is men aren't supposed to wander. I think that's what most men are doing. They're just wandering through life. And the worst part is most of them are doing it on their own.
Yeah.
Like without any being around a group of men. I think that's why what I do inside of my game is so powerful. Men aren't supposed to wander. We're supposed to have like a mission. We're supposed to have an animal to hunt. Do you know what I mean? We're not supposed to wander around. I think that's, most men are just wandering almost with a blindfold on, waiting for something to trigger them.
You know, I completely agree with that. I think most people don't have any goals. And they'll set a goal like, I want to make $1 million. I'm like, okay, how do you do that? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, that's not a goal. You just said words. You just said a bunch of words. It's like Jackson when he starts talking like some other language. I was like, man, you're making no sense. But that's the same thing. It's like, Bill, I want to make $1 million. Okay, why do you want to make it? I don't know. How are you going to make it? I don't know. Okay, you're just saying words. Literally, you just talk shit at me, and it's the same as what your goal is right now. So you have a goal, and then you know, okay, why do you want to make $1 million? Oh, okay, I want to buy this house. I want to drive this car. I want to give this security to my family. I want to give this back to my team, whatever the fuck it is. Cool. That's exactly how. Okay, how are you going to do that? Well, I need this many clients or this many customers, and this is exactly how I'm going to do that. Fantastic. Now you have a goal and a reason for the goal, and you have a fucking plan. Okay.
Yeah, and I think the plan, right? And I think what I love about plans as well, I've realized that plotting and planning is one of my favorite things to do, like creating schemes, right? Evil schemes. And I think that inside of that, all of those things are also goals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when we create these strategies and these plans, they're also goals. So you just is goal, I wouldn't say goal orientated, but you just have purpose. Like, there's this thing. Have you seen, do you like Brendan Bouchard or not?
Yeah, I do. I do. I like doing too much, but I can listen.
Me too. I'm the same. I would rather read his stuff than listen to him.
You don't hear his voice. That's okay.
It's a little bit too feminine for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he has this planner, right? He has a high performance planner. And he has a question in it that I love, right? It's just, what's one thing you're excited about today? And you answer it every morning. Like, that's such a fucking simple question. And I'm like, what if you just, people are like, I can't get out of the bed in the morning. I'm like, because people think that these things are just going to show up. I'm like, you create excitement. You create motivation. You create all of this shit. People think it just shows up. You know what I mean? You create inspiration. People think, oh, well, if I wait here long enough, this motivation and this excitement is going to show up. I'm like, what if you just fucking had a piece of paper? And I think men are terrible for this. Do you write anything down? No, nothing. Like, so you've got this drama showing here that will show you whatever it fucking wants to. Probably to make you feel shit because the ego wants to protect you, right? But you have this drama showing here. I'm like, write your problem down on paper, right? You'll fucking laugh at it. Just put it down on paper and you laugh at it. And I'm like, I'm not a big journaler, so to speak. Like people who write. I just love answering questions.
Yeah.
Like, so there's so many good questions in this planner that it kind of does my journaling for me. Let me read some out, because it might help some of the listeners. So we've got one thing so the morning mindset is one thing I can get excited about today is, it's a fill in the blank. I'm going to do well with fill in the blanks, maybe. Yeah. If one word could describe the kind of person I want to be today, then that word is, and why I chose it is, so that's setting your intention. Yeah. A situation that might stress me out or trip me up today could be, and the way that my best self would deal with that is, and then it's just a bunch of things. One bold action I could take today, someone I could surprise with a gift or a sign of appreciation is. There's just a bunch of cool shit in here that I'm like, that's for me. That I get excited about filling this in now.
Yeah, man. I completely
that's going to change my state. It's going to change my state, and it's not like, you know, and sometimes you can't be arsed. You got to, for me, I mean, I love training now, that'll blow your mind, right? I fucking love training now. So that's not a problem. But for a lot of people, I mean, what if you just woke up, got a fucking pen, and just answered some fucking questions? If you are not willing to do that, then it's very simple. I mean, you're willing to stay the same. It's that simple. Well, I understand that when doctors and people tell you, and people say, oh, just get up and go and work out. I'm like, for people who are quite low, that's a fucking huge deal. It's a huge deal. I might just pick up a book and answer some questions for me, dude. That's it. Yeah.
Honestly, man, I think that's so spot on. And I think, like, I wrote a couple of things as you were talking there. I was like, I normally, for myself, and when say I do ever do a mindset seminar, I get people to write a couple of paragraphs or a paragraph of what the hero version of themselves would do in a day. and also what the villain version of themselves would do in a day.
Oh, I love that too.
If you're a complete fuckwit some days, because everyone is some days, what does the fuckwit version of you do? And then what does the hero version of you do? So the hero version wakes up, they do this, they eat that, they say this to people, they are on time, they're productive, they get their shit, they're not distracted, that's what you do on a day-to-day basis. You're present in conversations. And the villain version, checking their phone all the time, press snooze, say don't even fucking talk to your wife, fucking aren't there for your kids, you get distracted all day scrolling social media, and then everyone has a choice. And you wake up in the morning, I want you to look at both of them. Actively. Who am I going to be today?
Yeah.
Who's it?
Yeah. And you know, I've read a couple of things this week, actually. One of them was an email. Can you remember Matt Trainer? Matt Trainer sent an email, and I read the subject line. It said, "Your future you hates current you." And I'm like, ooh, that's pretty powerful. That is powerful. And then the second piece, it is. And the second piece, I was reading a book, a fiction book, actually. It's Orphan X. I think it's book 4 of Orphan X. And it said this. It said that this guy's basically an assassin, right? Obviously not the hero assassin. He's an assassin. And he was getting, it went back to his past when he was getting coached how to assassinate people. And it was on his first mission. He remembers his coach said to him, I say coach, basically the guy that told him how to kill people, right? And it said, when he's nervous, it said when you're nervous or when you're doubting yourself, just imagine someone who is smarter than you, braver than you, stronger than you, etc., and just do what they would do. I mean, that's fucking profound. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's
what they would do. You don't have to think any different to them. Just do what they would do.
Man, I read the exact same thing in a different light the other day, and it was like, your future you has all the answers. So pretend you are you who has achieved everything you already want to achieve over the next 5 years, and then just sit there when you come to a problem and ask them what they would do.
That's nice. All right. Yeah.
Just ask your future self, because they've already been through it. So it's like, you overcame this. And it's like, okay, well, how did you overcome this? And what would you do in this situation? You're just having a conversation with yourself in a not insane way. And you get the answers. Because we normally have all the answers, man. We just refuse to ask ourselves the questions.
I agree. I think a lot of people get confused between a skill set issue and a mindset issue. I think sometimes with a skill set issue, you're going to need some advice.
Yeah.
It's a mindset issue. I think most of the time, you just have to ask yourself the right questions. You just have to know which questions to ask. Yeah.
What about, like, do you think people understand that you do get in life what you tolerate?
Yeah. We all have the life we're willing to put up with.
Yeah. How do you think people snap out of that?
Yeah. Well, for me,
I'll ask you this.
We said this before. When they're no longer willing to put up with where they're at, then they'll be willing to, I'll say to people, listen, you're either willing to do what's required to get out of this, or you're willing to stay the same. You can't be both. If you're not willing to do the work, then by default, you're willing to stay the same. You only change when you're unwilling to stay where you are for a moment fucking longer. So
I guess 100%, one, you have to actually make a conscious choice. So you have to make I choose to kill the person I am today to become the person I need to become tomorrow. I completely agree. But then how do they actively and consciously make a choice to live by that new person every single day? It's like, is it having a conscious awareness of their old standards that allow them to tolerate bullshit and creating a new set of standards they need to live by on a daily basis?
Yeah. Well, I want to touch on something about the willingness thing. I'm like, sometimes, listen, it's okay to be unwilling to do certain things. There are certain things I'm unwilling to work more than 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So therefore, I've got to be willing to deal with the consequences of that, which is maybe making a little bit less money. Yeah. Or if I'm not willing to do an extra day per week, what am I willing to do? Am I willing to hire someone extra? Am I willing to come off Facebook personal for a few months? Am I willing to get somebody else to do this? You know what I mean? So for me, I think a big deal, and I think, again, it can be overcomplicated, because I think if I keep things here, here's what I find. Right? People take the piss out of me for writing down what weights I lift in the gym, right? Yeah. Often, when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I'll also have a notebook. And what the fuck are you writing that down for? I said, listen, the more I write down, the less I have to remember. You know what I mean? The more I write down, the less I have to remember. But I think visibility is a big deal.
Right.
If things are visible, then it's a constant reminder. It's like setting up your environment. There's a book called Willpower Doesn't Work that I read as well. And he said that when your environment opposes your goals, all you're left with is willpower. And for me, willpower is dependent on energy as well, right? Oh. Nobody fucks up breakfast, ever. No. It's always fucking dinner where you fuck up, or just when you're tired, right?
But also, man, like, I think energy is dependent on if you're winning or losing. Like, you played sports growing up. I played sports. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this played sports. It's interesting. You watch a footy match, and at the end of the game, they go...
Hang on, I'm going to clarify something here. Let's clarify footy.
Soccer. Soccer is footy for you right now. Soccer is footy. Like, you look in the back end of a footy match, and like, I'll call it rugby. People in Australia will think it's AFL, and you'll think it's soccer. It's okay. We'll just call it footy. Right? You go into the change rooms, into the sheds, and you look at the team, and they both played 80 minutes, 90 minutes, and the team that won, their energy is through the fucking roof. It's like literally they could go back out there and play again. Their state is up here. They're high-fiving. They're crushed life. You go into the change room or the sheds of the team who lost, their state is so low that looks like, one, they just got, like, someone beat up their family, and they, like, you couldn't even play another minute. You couldn't play another minute. Because winners have energy to keep winning. Dude, losers don't have energy to do fucking anything. So how do you set yourself up for success to give you more energy to then give you more willpower?
Dude, also, do you think this, that people don't know how to track winning?
No, that's it, 100%.
They have no concept of what winning is.
No, they don't.
Only winning is the outcome. That kind of the end goal is the only way to track winning. I'm like, no, dude, there's so many other things that I can track. Action is winning. A workout for me is winning, even if it's not a great workout. Even if I win, yeah, I did win. Yeah, and it's like, this is one thing that we do inside of Unstoppable as well. This thing called strategic confidence. We actively protect our energy, right? Protect our confidence, which is, I mean, I do it every night. I write it in that same book. Actually, I write down everything that I made happen in the day, right? And if I don't write it down, and here's the funny thing, if I miss it on an evening, sometimes the next morning I can't remember. I'm like, it's no wonder people are fucked. I can't remember those fucking, sometimes I write down 12, 13 things that I was like, I made that happen today, right? And then the next day, if I haven't written it down, I can't remember. I'm like, it's no wonder people think they're losing all the time, because they're not keeping score. Or they don't keep score. If you don't keep score, how do you know who's winning?
Mate, and then exactly, and then it's impossible to become unstoppable. It's possible to win, and if you win, and your whole goal in life is essentially, for me, I tell everyone, it's like, it's okay to lose, but never lose 2 days in a row.
Yeah,
that's it. Like,
and I think the great thing about this situation, the way we're framing this, is that you can't lose. Really,
no, you really can't lose.
You can't lose it. And just writing these, I used to stop at 3, right? I used to only write 3 down. I'm like, that's like saying, no more confidence, please. Oh, I don't want any more confidence. No, thank you. Like, fucking hell. I'm writing every good thing that I made happen today, or just something that happened. And I'm like, sometimes, even if it's a shitty day, right? Friday I had a shitty day. I just got back from vacation, and I went hard when I got back.
Yeah.
And by Friday, I was fucked. And I started arguing with myself. I'm like, I've just got back off fucking vacation. I shouldn't be fucked. And once you start playing with the shouldn't, you're fucked. So I was all over the fucking place. And I have this saying that I teach my guys. I'm like, every day is not great, but you can find great in every day. I can find, if I'm willing to look, I can find great thing that happened. I fell asleep for 2 hours. I was like, fucking hell, I had a 2-hour nap. I happened to miss, right, a training that I do every Friday that has about 60 of my guys on it. I missed it completely. Fuck, that's never happened ever. I've cancelled stuff before when I haven't been feeling well, but just not showing up. People are like, where the fuck is Paul?
So I just had a nap.
Fell asleep for 2 hours, yeah. But the old me would have been, oh fuck, what have I done here? Oh fuck, I'm gonna have to burn this whole thing to the ground.
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking hell, yeah. So I felt like shit, and then at the end of the day, and it comes down to being willing. There's good in every day if you're willing to look. If you're willing to look, most people are unwilling. And then they argue with themselves about being unwilling.
Man, and then all of a sudden, again, they have a state shift, and it's like, you know, same whether it be the diet or the business, the same sort of thing, right? You pop it, it's like you accidentally went off plan with your nutrition. So you're like, screw this, I pop one tire, I'm going to smash the other 4 tires because I can't just slip up once, I'm going to fuck the car. It's the same thing. It's like,
you know what's funny? You know what's funny when he said accidentally? There's fucking no accident. No one's accidentally slipped up. No one. I never ate anything by mistake.
No, this is true.
I might have ate a dick once by accident. Sorry. I mean, fell over and landed on someone's dick with my mouth open.
But honestly, man, it's so true, right? Like, I think the problem is, and I wrote this down earlier, it's like perspective. I think so many people have shit fucking perspective, and that's their problem, right? On their bad day, you're saying they're unwilling to find the good, and they're so focused. Like, again, focus goes, energy flows, and it's all because
I agree 1,000%. Yeah.
But it's perspective. It's like, okay, what happened today? Oh, I missed my workout. Oh, what else happened today? Oh, I didn't make a sale. Okay, what else happened today? I don't know. Like, nothing else bad. Okay, cool. Do you still have your legs? Yes. You still have your eyes? Yes. You still have your wife? Yes. Okay, cool. Your kids still talk to you? Yep. Okay, cool. No one has cancer right now? No? Okay. Your life's good. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. You know what's great about not making a sale? That it means, right? It means that you're in your own business and you're in a sales position.
Yeah.
You could be fucking not making sales and working in McDonald's.
Mate.
You know what I mean? I love that you said that about focus and attention. I make that all the time. It's get your attention. So how do I deal with the stress of an interview I've got in a week's time? I'm like, it's in a week's time. Why is your attention on it?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You know what I mean? Dude, this is how I fix. I used to have really bad. I remember when I went to Krebs' wedding, right? It's 4 hours into an 8-hour flight to Chicago, and I had a panic attack on a flight, right? And it was so bad that I had to crack open this briefcase with like a fucking a code on it, right? And get a sedation. They had to sedate me, literally wipe me out. I was fucking losing my shit. And I was so fucked up that I actually got to the connecting flight at the gate 2 hours early, right? To fly to this fucking strange place in New York State, right? Syracuse, it's called. And I missed the flight. I was 2 hours early and I missed the flight. So I was so fucked up of the sedatives. And anyway, I then started focusing on how can I fix this anxiety thing? And I learned that people who have anxiety, who get any kind of anxiety or panic attacks, have high creative intellects, right? And I learned that when we're not solving problems, we create them. You think about it, anxiety's created, right? Robbins, I learned that from Robbins as well. Yeah. Anxiety, depression, all created. It's not caught, it's not contagious, it's created. And what I learned was this is the people are like, how do I get rid of my anxiety? I'm going to tell you it, and it's so simple that you're probably not going to do it. That's what I tell them. You need something that takes your attention from the problem to something else and keeps it. Do you know what I do now on a flight?
What?
Play Football Manager on my iPad. That's all I've done. I don't drink coffee. So obviously I don't drink coffee before I go on a flight. That's fucking idiot move. And then I have to have movies, I have magazines, I have books, and I play Football Manager. Why? Because it takes my attention from the fact that I'm sitting on a plane and I fucking hate it to, I'm getting to manage my favorite football team in pretend for the flight. Exactly. The last time I went on holiday, I got sacked twice. That's how much I played it. I got sacked twice. In one flight, I got sacked twice. But yeah, can you see? It's all, and all that is, the only shift that I've made is this new ability to divert my attention from the fact that I'm stuck on a flight to managing. So it's how I fix my dentist phobia, right? This is even simpler. I used to have to get sedated to go to the dentist, even for a filling. Get sedated, like knocked out, not just knocked out. And it cost me a fortune in money. A lot of dentists don't have someone that sedates you here. So I had to travel to do it. And then I'd missed 2 days of work, so I felt like shit. I said to this dentist, I said, listen, can you do me a favor? And this is a lesson from, people like guided meditation, right? Yeah. I don't do it, but I get why people would. I said to her, can you just talk to me for the whole time you're doing this? It was a tooth extraction, dude. Not just a filling, a tooth extraction. I said, can you just talk to me for the whole time you're doing it? And she did. All that happened was my attention was on what she was saying, concentrating on what she was saying, rather than fucking all that shit in my mouth, that big fucking tube that sticks to your tongue. I hated that. And that's why guided meditation works for people, because their attention is on the voice, not on their thoughts.
Well, that man, like, so true, right? Because the last couple of days I had this cough, And when I'm laying in bed at nighttime, I'll be like coughing. Liv will be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So then what I do is I'll get up and I'll walk downstairs and I'll turn on the TV because I forget about my cough and I start watching TV at 2 a.m. because I just shift my attention away from the cough. I'm like, okay, cool. I've stopped calming down because what happens, I keep thinking about the cough and I cough more and I cough more. I'm just like, holy fuck.
Like titty bar and tits. It's the same as titty bar and tits, right? Titty bar and tits, and my attention's going to go on the tits.
Exactly. But like with this, I guess I say a lot this. It's like only thing you can control in life, that these two things, which is like effort and attitude in any given moment. So the effort you put in, the attitude you bring. But maybe it's like, it's not that. Maybe it's the effort you put in and the attention you bring. Because the attention is also linked to your attitude. So whatever you
it's very easy. It's actually quite, I'm not going to say easy. I'm going to say simple to change your attention. The problem is, and it comes down to, I say this to my guys, it's training. You can train your attention. And I'm like, people are like, Paul, I get so anxious. I'm trying to do this, but I'm not doing it. I'm like, well, you're trained to put your attention on these anxious thoughts. You're trained in that. You've been doing it for 20 years. You're going to have to, do you know what I mean? You've got 20 years of compound. You've got 20 years of compounded training on thinking these anxious thoughts. And sorry, not thinking them, putting your attention on them.
On them, yeah.
And you're only just starting your training plan to put your attention over here. So all it comes down to train it. It's all it is, training.
Like that's another thing, right? Like, you know, everything is just about training. We think about training in the gym, right? Like you go to the gym, you do some bench press and you get better at bench press. So you put some more weight on there, but everything else is training as well. Training your attention. You just making it, it's like progressive overload for your attention. Like everything.
Yeah, it is.
Training it.
Yeah, it is. And that's why this is one of the reasons I use this style of meditation called Ascension, right? Which is from these Ashaya monks. And they kind of just have mantras, they're called attitudes. And all they do is when I'm meditating, all they are is a series of mantras that I tell myself.
Yeah. And
what that does is when my thoughts start drifting, because the problem that people have in meditation is they think they're empty in their thoughts. I'm like, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck.
With that. You stop thinking now. It's not happening. And anyway, so all I do is when my thoughts start to drift, I just bring my attention back on these 4 mantras that I've got. Yeah. Attention, it's going to drift back on the 4 mantras. So that's my training on how to divert my attention every day.
It's simple, right?
It's one of the reasons why people love jiu-jitsu, because my attention cannot be anywhere else other than trying to not get strangled.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Jiu-jitsu is like, martial arts are all like meditation, because that's why you get Zen doing them, because your attention cannot be over what that prick on Facebook said. Yeah. It can only be this prick who's trying to strangle you.
So, what do you reckon, man? Like people with identity problems, not identity problems as in like gender identity, but I mean like identity as far as like identify myself as someone who is overweight, or identify myself who is someone who is broke. Do you think that people need to shift their identity in some way?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to touch on this. I'm going to touch on this slightly differently. Now, I think it's a language thing, right?
Yep.
I think it's just a language thing. I think that I get a lot of people saying my anxiety, my depression, etc. You don't own it, man. It'll own you if you keep saying that.
Yeah.
All of this really is you're just experiencing an emotion, really. Yeah. You're experiencing carrying excess body fat. You're experiencing not having any money. That's it. And the great thing about these emotions or whatever it is, wherever you're at, is that you have the ability to shift them. I think the problem that people have is when they think they can't do anything about it. That's where the unhappiness is, I think. When they think they can't do anything about it, I mean, most things you can do something about. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, energy is such a big fucking deal. And I think I learned this from Robbins as well, actually. I'm like, when people tell me how they feel, I'm like, well, how do you want to feel? They don't even know. I feel like, and then this is another language thing. I feel like I'm, like the weight of the world's on my shoulders. I feel like my life's falling apart. I feel like I'm stuck. I'm like, well, are you stuck? Let's have a look. Are you stuck? Your language is fucking with you, bro. Yeah. I'm like, let's take the intent. Like, I'm stuck. I'm so lost. I'm stuck. All these fucking words. Even I've said this. I'm in the pit. I'm in the pit. Are you really? You're not in a pit, bro. You're just in your fucking bedroom and you're experiencing fucking emotions of being sad, low, whatever it is. So I'm like, let's look at it. How do you really fucking feel? How do you really feel? Because none of those things are fucking relevant. And I think this as well, whenever anyone says feel like, I feel like this, feel like I can't do anything about it, I'm like, well, you're using it. Whenever you say feel like, I'm like, you're about to use an analogy. And analogies are work of fiction, really. Where they come from. Fiction. So you're making it up. How do you really fucking feel? How do you want to feel? And what are you willing to do about it? So yeah, I think I've totally dodged that question that you asked, by the way.
No, but like it's true, man. I think your language then shifts your identity. Like I know that, you know, Maxwell Maltz that wrote the book Psycho-Cybernetics? Yeah. And like that, he talks about, you know, people's identity and, you know, how they need to not shift their identity, but I think if you do shift language, you can start to shift your identity, because all it is self-talk. It's positive or negative self-talk, which is essentially your language.
If you're only, you know what I mean? I used to be like, I hate training, right?
Yeah.
I hate training. And again, the language is the thing. I'm like, well, what changed for me is I found some training that I didn't hate.
Yeah.
Do you hate all training? And it's just questions again.
It's just questions. I was going to say, it's just questions. Yeah.
Questions. Do you hate all training? Well, I hate fucking CrossFit. Well, of course you hate CrossFit. You're 4 stone overweight, dickhead. You know what I mean? Of course you hate CrossFit. You never work out. You fucking drunk 3 nights a week and full of coke every weekend. Of course you hate CrossFit, dickhead. You know what I mean? And then I found boxing. And the funny thing is, I think once you get to a certain level of conditioning, you don't hate any kind of training.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's all okay. You'll find that you're going to do the one that you love the most, which means fighting.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, I'm like, I just hate it. And I think it is language, really. Just are you overweight, or are you just carrying more body fat than you'd like to be carrying?
But like, it's doing it that, like, you know, you don't feel motivated. You get motivated by doing the activity. That's like,
Dude, there's a story. Do you know what I said? I had this meltdown on Friday.
Yeah.
I had this meltdown on Friday, right? And I know that how to change my state. So I'm very aware of that. I know how to change my state. So I thought to myself, and you're saying this motivation thing. So I have this rule. I'll go and do the warm-up. And normally you commit to the warm-up, what shows up? Motivation.
Yeah.
Then on Friday, I did 8 reps of deadlifts and went home. Everyone was like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, it's not fucking happening today. And that was when I started to accept the way that I felt. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When listen, if doing 8 reps of deadlifts doesn't make me feel any better, fuck the I'm just going to accept the fact that I feel like shit today.
But that's okay as well.
Yeah, of course it is.
I think people don't realize that.
Yeah.
Like,
they beat themselves up. I'm fucking shit. I'm a pussy. That would be me. I'm a fucking pussy. I can't suffer through this. I must be a pussy.
Yeah, but as long as you don't do it every day and you're a little bitch, like, I think it's okay to have a bad day. It's like, fuck, I can't focus. Okay. If you're like, what does focus give you? Can you change your state? Can you make sure you can get accountability? Whatever it is that gives you what you need, and then you still can't do it, just go to the movies.
All right. It's all right.
Like, it's okay.
I think what you do most of the time matters more than what you do some of the time, right?
Mate, same as nutrition, same as training, same as anything in life. It's like, if 99% of the time you're a good dude and 1% you fuck up, like, you're
let's face it, 80% of the time would do.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
80% of the time. That's if you do the right thing.
Man, like, you're human.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes people think, no, that's not good enough. It's like, no, you're not a robot, man. Like, you have feelings.
And you confuse perfection with progress and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things that we do is in our programs, guys come in and I'm like, what's your 90-day outcome in this area? They're like, I'm going to do 90 days straight meditation. I'm like, you're not.
You're not going to do it.
You're not.
No.
You're not. Give yourself a brief. I'm going to date my wife every week for 12 weeks. I'm like, you're not going to do that either. I said, give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, because what will happen is when you realize you can't hit 12 because you miss a week, you'll quit. So give yourself an out. Give yourself 10 out of 12. Yeah. I have this, we've got an infrared sauna fitted at home, right? It's one of the best investments I've ever made. And I set a goal, and I found myself, I'm going to have a sauna every day for 90 days. And I caught myself, I'm not. Because I'm on vacation for 7 days for a start. Yeah. And then I'm going to miss. So I gave myself this outcome of 80 saunas in 90 days. And I'm going to hit that. Whereas if I'd quit, I'd have been, and then, because what happens is if you do that kind of thing, you strive for perfection, you start trying to play catch up. I have 3 saunas a day to catch up. It's like when people diet as well, right? The diet, so they'll do like you know what it's like. They'll do 2,000 calories a day, and then they'll get the weekend, they'll fuck it up, and then they'll drop down to 1,000. But then you know what I mean? Like, bro, but I've done that too. I fucked up at the weekend. I better just drink a shake today. Oh,
I think that's when it comes down to whether it's like shit outcome orientated goals and shit process orientated goals.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right? Some people have outcome goals and they have no process goals whatsoever. So it's like that means you don't know if you're going to win the day or lose the day because you don't have any process goals on a daily basis.
That's in this planner, right? Full focus. Yeah, I love that shit. Dude, do you have to pay a fucking fortune to get it chipped?
Yeah, 100%.
It cost me like 80 quid for a fucking book. Like 80 quid? Leslie's like, hang on, Paul, what book have you bought for 80 quid? I'm like this. She said, hang on. She looks at it and she's like, that's it. I'm like, yeah, it's just fucking. I think the thing is though, Trav, right? I think it's because it's 80 quid. It's like, I use it more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's 80 quid.
100%. Well, like, mate, everything. It's like I tell anyone, I'll give you a blueprint for success for $1. I'll give you for fucking $1 million. That one PDF page, you'll fucking carry it everywhere. Because, like, we place so much, like, if something costs a lot of money, we place so much value on it, so we do it. The same as, like, people who fucking buy the expensive supplements or whatever it is, right? Like,
you want a return on your investment. So the bigger the investment, the more you want to return.
That's why if you charge cheap, you get fucking idiots.
Yep.
And you get more results.
Yeah, sell peanuts, get monkeys.
Yeah, man. But like, I think for you, like, over time, and me, if you're charging a low price, you're doing a disservice to your clientele because you're not making it hurt for them, which means they won't do the work or they're less inclined to do the work.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And this was an issue that we've had since we launched the book, because the book I essentially give away everything to do. I don't make any money on it. I do free plus shipping, and I still get shit. Well, it's not free then, is it? Fuck me, dude. Yeah, it's not free then, is it? I'm like, yeah, it's free plus shipping, dude. You pay for it. And actually I'm like, actually, I don't even say free plus shipping. I say cover the costs.
Yeah.
We'll print it, ship you it. I don't make any fucking money on a book.
Yeah.
But what I say to people is like, I'm going to give you everything to do. I actually say it in the book, but you're probably not going to do it. You're probably not going to do it. So here's 2 tips. 1, join my program.
Yeah.
2, just give yourself some public accountability if you like. Tell everyone what you're going to do. And that works for some people, for some people it doesn't. So I think everyone's got to find a different leverage point. But yeah, this money thing, we've had this issue, and we're currently about to try, because we're taking people from, before we took people from 0 to £1,000 program, right? Then we took it from £8 to get in, £8 for the book, get on my email list, etc. That's a great way to build your email list, by the way. And then we're taking people to 1,000, but we're about to try a 28-day 197 kind of thing. So that'll be a very interesting experiment. I've been putting this on there's some people are like, oh, Paul, you need to fill that. You need to have this ascension model. But then at the same time, I'm like, ooh, that's why it's a trial.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
You've had this a bunch of times, I'm sure you've tried that.
Like I've tried it so many different ways where it's like, we've done this sort of like 30 days programs. Like, I think it works well it does work really well for us in the gyms. But like I've tried it in the business consulting side of things. And ours is like, you know, 3,000 pounds and like 15,000 or 18,000 pounds. And that's our 2 programs. That's it. Or you can spend 1 day with me and it's 5,000 pounds. Like, it is what it is. You want me for a day? Like, fucking pay for it. But with that, like when we did like the sort of 100, 200 pounds, even like 300 pounds for 30 days, they think they're buying the total solution. Like, so like, no, I don't need to keep going. I bought the solution. Give me the fucking solution in 30 days. I was like, motherfucker, your life didn't take 30 days to fuck up. Like, it's not gonna
it's a difficult thing. I think what we'll have to do is obviously, we're talking marketing now, as we love as well, but I think that we'll have to just make sure that the whole thing's tidy.
Yeah, it's super tidy, right?
The bonus that I've got is that because my 90-day transformation has been the only thing that I sold for such a long time, people be aware that it's not the 90-day.
Yeah, exactly, right. But then you get such an influx.
Yeah. And I think what we'll also do is that, like, this is just, we can sell it. This is a trial. I've never done it before. And there's no access to me.
No.
So what I'll do is I'll probably drop a couple of recorded videos, give them some exercise to do, then my team will keep them accountable to doing it.
Yeah.
And then I think what I can do is that if you want access to me, here's how you get it.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, man, I think it's awesome. And it's also then looking at like Pareto's principle, right? So you got to look at the back end. How many people do you want in it? And, if you get 100 people, if you get like 100 people into this low end program, you'll get something between, because it will scale forwards and backwards a little bit. It'll get between 10 to 25 people to just automatically just like fucking sign up. Because they're like, give me more.
Like, that's what we're going with the book. Now we'll have it, because I'm not really going to offer buy a book. Okay, here's me $1,000 program. I don't really do that. I don't really do that. But now going from a book to 197, different gravy, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%.
This is where I'm looking to plug that gap, because getting £1,000 off someone, and again, I'm not getting on the phone with people. No. I'm selling it just via, and phone calls.
Yeah.
However, we're about to hire someone who's going to do it for us.
Man, honestly, dude, like we have someone like who does our sales. He crushes life. Like literally crushes it. Does so well. Like
it's crazy, isn't it? Do you know what I think it is, Travis? And you probably agree with this as well. Is that I have a guy that converts people from a 90-day program into my year-long program.
Yeah.
And he's like, why I can do it, Paul? I'm better at, and he has his own business as well. He coaches women. And he said, I'm better at closing people for you than I am for me, because I have no emotional attachment. If they don't sign up, I don't care. So he goes in with absolute confidence. He goes in, I'm like, what does he say to you? And I'm like, do you get him on the phone? He's like, no, I just do it via Messenger. He's getting people to commit to a year and paying one in a wanna. I'm like, how are you fucking doing that? He's just like, well, I've got no emotional attachment, so I don't give a fuck if they sign up or not.
Yeah, I literally did a live about this morning with Salesman, and I was like...
Can you still hear me, by the way? I've got some work going on in
No, I can hear. I think like the sales thing, it's interesting, right? I told them on this, I did live, and I was like, one of the things to overcome your bullshit in sales is you need to detach your emotions to the outcome of the sale. And if you go into the sale just trying to solve someone's problem, and at the end of solving their problem, that they happen to buy your product, that's okay. And if they don't, that's okay as well, because you're there to serve them. Not necessarily.
Well, I think with coaching, it's a very simple thing.
Yeah.
Coach them. Don't coach them too much, but coach them. And the thing is, with coaching, you also don't have to talk.
No. You say, listen.
They're talking. So just that, again, it's questions. Ask the right fucking questions. They answer them. They feel empowered, a little bit empowered, but not too much. And then you're coaching them anyway.
Yeah, and they're like,
the solution that they come to is actually, I need more of your time.
I need more of your time. I need more accountability. I do need someone to bounce ideas off. I need someone to vibrate a higher frequency. I do need this. Can you do this by yourself? No, okay, we need to go forward with this then. And it's like, awesome. Honestly, man, I'm going to wrap it up, but I want to sort of to go back to that happiness thing, because I want you to say it again. I think that was one of my favorite things of this. What do you tell you guys to do? I know you've already said it, but I'm going to reiterate it. What do you tell you guys to do to make sure that they can get their shit together as far as their state with happiness?
So they have a list, right? Some of them carry it around with them, dude. Some of them carry it in their wallet, depending on where they're at. Because they don't know, they haven't experienced happiness for so long that they kind of struggle with it. Especially because they're all business guys, and some of us have hustled for so hard, so long, that the only idea of fun is fucking sedation, right? Boozing, coke, smoking, whatever it is, right? It's only they forget to have fun because you've worked so hard to build what you've got, and then you're terrified also of losing it. Yeah. So there's a what was I going to say here? The one thing that they've got is the list is I feel happy when. Yeah. That's it. And the longer the list and the simpler the thing is, what I say to them is there's got to be some things on there that are convenient. And by that, I mean, as convenient as going to the pub. Yeah. As convenient as rubbing one out. Yeah. As convenient as having a line. As convenient as smoking. It can't be about, I feel happy when I go on holiday, and that's it. It's got to be something real simple. I feel happy when I'm laughing at my kids. I feel happy when I'm watching my kid. I feel happy when I do jiu-jitsu. I'm going to do jiu-jitsu anytime I want. Fuck this, I'm going to do jiu-jitsu. Fuck this, I'm going to go and have the guys call it a 5-minute disco. Right, they have 5-minute discos in the car. Full fucking blast, sit in the car, better. And if that doesn't work, guess what? You choose the fucking next one. Yeah. If that doesn't work, you choose the next one. At some point, you're going to experience this feeling of happiness. And that's all it is. It's an emotion. Happiness for me, is just an emotion. And we have the ability, we are in complete control of the emotions that we are experiencing. all of the time. It's not, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's simple if you are willing.
Oh man, I actually I think this is probably the easiest thing I've heard someone say.
Is it?
Simple as, right? Like, you're feeling shit, okay, no worries. You want to feel happy, what do? Go to your list, just keep doing shit until you feel happy. Oh, I feel good. Now go back and be productive while you feel good.
You know what? Do you know the thing is, Trav? I think that people like to overcomplicate it so they sound smart.
Yeah.
I've just given you the, fucking fill in your list. And the thing is, it's not my list. It's your list, bro. It's your list. Yeah. It's not my list. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you a template. I'm asking you a question, essentially. And you're making the list. And it's just like going to a buffet. I'll have that fucking vol-au-vent. I'll have that blini.
Yeah.
It depends where you're at for your buffet. I'll have those noodles. But it's the same thing.
Yeah, man. 100%.
The thing is, I think we probably have a list like that mentally that is disempowering.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So do things that are what I would call destructive. We have destructive ways of making ourselves feel happy temporarily. What if you had a conscious, empowering way to feel happy? Do you know what I mean? People are just, we do things subconsciously to make ourselves, or unconsciously to make ourselves feel like shit. And we'll have a list. We'll have it. And that's what I say to people. The good news about being in a bad place is that you've created that. You have a strategy to create it. You're just not aware of the strategy. So one, let's have a look at the strategy that got me here. Two, let's create a strategy to get me out when I feel unhappy.
Yeah. Crazy.
You're doing things that make you unhappy.
So,
a lot of the time it's because you think you have to, or you have to suffer. Dude, suffering is fucking optional. Optional.
It is. But people think that the only way to get to greatness is through suffering. Or they need to suffer for long enough just because. Whether, fuck, who knows?
Here's the worst thing that I used to say, and I think that's wicked. I'll be happy when. Yeah. That's the worst plan. I'll be happy when. Rather than I feel happy when.
Yes.
It's kind of like I feel happy when. I can choose that now. Or I'll be happy when.
Yes.
And that's the complete fucking opposite end of the spectrum. One of them involves now, the other one involves waiting. Yes. Why put off? I don't want to put off feeling like that.
No, do it now.
The other thing, actually, that's been on my mind a lot recently, I was thinking about this the other day, is that, and you'll agree with this, the things that have brought me the most joy in my life have been the things that have happened right after I was shitting my pants.
Man, right? Yeah.
Getting married. Having kids, winning a boxing match, all of those things, having a sales conversation that went really well, running a fucking big webinar, running a massive seminar, speaking on a fucking on the stage with Ricky Hatton, doing this thing that I've got going on with Goggins next week. Funnily enough, but it's and I was just it's because I think me and you were talking about this at the start about people not doing what's required because they're shitting themselves. Think about all the moments that have brought you the most fulfillment and the most joy have came right after, like a split second after you were shitting your pants.
It's exactly like jumping out of a plane. That's it.
Oh, dude, I did that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Like you were literally shitting yourself, and that's why, like I remember, my mastermind back in the day, I made everyone jump out of a plane. I was like, everyone was like, "Holy fuck, I am not doing this." I was like, "Trust me, you're doing it." People were like, "I'm not jumping out of this plane." I was like, "You fucking jumping out," and everyone jumped out as soon as they take the leap.
Yep. Dude, do you know the worst part is when you're not jumping. The worst part is when you're not jumping. The worst part is waiting to jump.
Yeah, 100%.
Actually, here's the funny thing. I was saying this the other day. The worst part is going up in the plane. And the thing is, once you get on the edge, you can't get out of it. Why? You don't want to jump, but you're attached to somebody that fucking loves jumping.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got no option now, have I?
Exactly. Yeah. Look, but it's the same as public speaking. You're standing there, you're about to do a seminar, you're like, holy fuck. And then you get out there and you're speaking, hey, mate.
You forget about it because your attention isn't on speaking, your attention is on all that shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a strange old fucking thing, but yeah, good shit.
So, man, where are people going to find you right now? So if they're going to go and find Paul Mort, where are we going?
PaulMortBooks.com.
PaulMortBooks.com.
PaulMortBooks.com. Do you know why? Not because I'm going to write more than one book. Fucking no chance I'm writing another book, but I hated every fucking second of it, right? And the other reason is because paulmortbook.com was already taken and I wasn't paying $5,000 for it. Here's the thing. The thing about the book, I want to touch on this as well, is that I hated writing the book. It's been one of the best things I've done, but I fucking hated it. And I think this is the reason why people don't like writing emails. Nobody cheers you when you're writing emails. Nobody cheers you when you're writing a book. When you're on social media, it's permanent cheering. Because you get instant gratification. But with email, sometimes I can go 2 weeks. It's very rare that happens easy. But I go 2 weeks and nobody replies. Right? Sometimes. Same with the book. I went fucking 6 months without anybody cheering me. Like, fuck, how am I going to... I can't deal with getting no feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very interesting experiment.
But then it's also funny, man. Like, it's funny that a lot of the feedback, it's people who don't give you good feedback normally. It's normally just negative feedback, the stuff that you get. So you're like, motherfuckers.
It's funny, you almost ignore the good feedback, right?
Yeah.
You do. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting old conundrum. Yeah, they're the best teachers. Yeah. They're the best teachers.
Thank you so much for today.